So did you say iridology earlier?
Yes.
I did say
What
iridology.
is iridology?
I'm so obsessed with this, even though I'm terrible at it myself.
I'm like, why are you obsessed? You never submit eyes to me ever, Erin.
I'm like fascinated. I do watch it sometimes. I watch the playbacks because I'm like, I know I'm so bad at it, but I love watching you do it.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's such a cool modality, and it's really user friendly for the pet owner. And so it's study of the colored part of the eye called the iris, and you've got all these marks in there. And so if you are a devoted pet owner, you look deeply in your pet's eye and went, "What's that?" Right? How many of us have done that? And so if it's not like an ulcerated cornea or some sort of glaucoma or something like that, it's just a superficial mark. Often your vets will be like, "Oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it." Well, it actually means something. The iris is is so crazy. It relates to every single body part on your body. And so the right eye controls the right side of the body, the left eye marks on the left side of the body. And we've done lots of animals, and we have this membership, this online membership, and we study irises. People submit, we assess, we have their clinical history too. So some people have medical history backing the irises, and sometimes we do the iris, and sometimes we send them to the vet going, "Hey, get this checked out." And the iridology actually has been pretty accurate. It still needs some work. I won't say it's an exact science, but it gives you an idea of where to look.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah. And so you can even detect like different textures, different blob streaks, fibrous looking eyes. Any sort of change means something. So I always tell everybody, every eye tells a story. You just need to learn how to read it.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got to track my dog's spinal cord tumor. He had a meningioma, had it removed, and when he went through the surgery, his eye totally changed. And so I got to track. I took a photo before the surgery and then after the surgery. His GI tract area cleaned up a lot because he wasn't allowed to eat. He was on IVs for a long time. The surgery was really hard on him, but it was really fun to see the eye change. And then about 6, maybe 3, 4, 5 months into it, after post-surgery, I noticed this little nodule mark in like the 7 o'clock spot in his right eye. And I called my neurosurgeon and said, "It's growing back." And he goes, "It's not growing back. Your dog's fine. You're like overthinking this. Don't worry about it." And then a week later, he goes, "I think it's growing back." And they gave me an MRI at cost just to see. And so before they read the MRI, I'm like, "Hold on, I want to tell you what I think the MRI says." And he's like, "How would you know?" So I was like, "It's back. There's 2, and it's bigger than ever." And he goes, "That's impossible. How would you know that?" And I go, "Look at my iridology case study." I'm like feeling bad because my dog is getting more and more neurologic and paralyzed, but I'm super thrilled that it was accurate. And he was blown away. He's like, "That is crazy." And so I have photos of his iris and the MRI, and it almost like the tumors on the MRI almost match the iris marks.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool. So I would have never known that was a tumor mark except for the surgery, and it vanished. And then it started to grow back. They never really got the whole thing, I think, in the surgery because there was still a little blip. And then it just started encompassing the eye. And I was like, no. So that's why I love it for pet owners is you can see if your diet's working. So you can see if you're on the correct protocol, the eye clears up, and everybody goes, "Oh, your eyes look so bright," right? And even the Bible talks about like windows to the soul and clear eyes to the health. And so we know instinctively that bright, healthy eyes are healthy bodies, but dark eyes are toxic bodies
So
for
do you
sure.
need to look at both eyes when you're reviewing?
Yes, I'd like to. It's a little touch and go to get a dog and cats, both eyes. cat lovers, I salute you. You know, it's just, and once you insult them with a flash, they might just give you the paw the next time. Like you have to be really, really tactical about it. Like practice on everybody else's animals, not the one animal you really want the photo of. And you might want to just video it with a flash on and get really close and maybe have additional lighting to the side, have treats. Like it's a production to create like this nice experience that you can do it if you're in a crisis situation. You can track your disease progression or regression through doing it, but you don't, most dogs don't let you do it every single week. So get a good feel for it. You can just look in their eyes if their eyes are clear enough. Horses have these big, beautiful, pretty eyes. So it's really easy. They don't care if you shine a bright light in their eyes, but dogs, they hate it. Yeah. So you better go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say so I took her Poppy's course on iridology. And so through the course, she has like these grids that's like a map of like basically like mapping out like how all of the parts of the body, like where the marks are on the eye. So like she said, like there's something at 7 o'clock, and then she has like a grid that's like, okay, well 7 o'clock is like spleen, or you know, whatever it is. And so I'm so fascinated by it, and I'm so bad at it.
You're not bad at it.
I'm so
you just need to do it more. It's not, you guys, it's not hard at all. I'm actually going to do an intro to Iridology class coming up here. So it's going to be like $35. It's not going to be a big deal. And it's going to be a 1 hour intro. And so if people want to learn more, they can hop on that. That'll be, I don't know, when does this air?
Like next week.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be August 26th.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. I was planning on that, but I didn't talk to you on your air dates.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I'll drop the URL for you guys. You can post
Wonderful.
that. People are excited. But yes, the eyes tell a story. What you can't tell sometimes is if they're on medication. If they're on anti-inflammatories, it might block the marks, the nerve receptors that mark on the eye. So you could get a false positive that your dog's super healthy. And we learned that early on with horses and dogs that, you know, people were bringing us dogs and horses that were pretty messed up. Like you could just see it. You didn't need to read the eye. You're like, that dog doesn't look so good. And you're like, the eye looks pretty awesome though. So we finally put two and two together and we're like, is your dog on medication? They're like, oh yeah, tons. And so, yes, there's certain medications that block the nerve receptors. There's certain medications that don't. So you just definitely have to like take the case.
Okay.
And so the way my like horrible layperson understanding is, you know, because there's so many nerves that connect to the eye, you know, through the back of the eye, like that it literally everything through your body does connect there. And so therefore changes in your body will even you know, that's how they reflect in the eye. Am I anywhere near
You're totally
close?
right.
Okay.
You're totally right. And it's real time, you guys. So you can make a change or a chiropractic adjustment and the eye changes instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So you can literally look in the eye and go, your dog needs a chiropractic adjustment in this quadrant of their body. And then when the chiropractor, as long as they did a good job, works it, then the shape of the pupil actually changes instantly. So when I go to Equine Body Works and I work on their bodies, I'll look in their eye and go, ooh, not good. I kind of miss that. And then go back and just redo what I think I didn't do the greatest job on. So it's very real time.
Interesting. So you have some pictures for us.
I hope so.
I
I hope they'll pull up. And so we're going to do Erin's dog real quick. Oh, and
Yeah,
so here's, you know, look at his sweet face.
Yay.
And so the first thing I'm seeing is, you guys see how dark it is around the pupil?
Yeah.
And that just stands out. And that's actually a toxic GI tract. So you'll see if you can gauge if your animal's toxic by like darkness around the pupil, and that's all GI tract area. Now, sometimes you'll see GI tract areas that actually encompass almost the whole eye, and that's a stressed GI tract area. So you can gauge if your diet's working, if you need to detox. So on this dog, we might want to detox him with like humic or fulvic acid. I don't know if you're already on like ion gut restore or something like that, but it might be something you want to do for him. I just love his face, Erin. And then we have like this little line here, this little streak. Let's see, let's get a different photo. We got a bunch of them. And you guys want to take lots of photos and hopefully head on, but if you can't get head on, this is great. So you can see like out in here, it might be a glare from the background of Erin's flash.
Oh, yeah, it might be the lamp.
It might be the lamp, but if this is really here, this would be a lung concern. And then you guys see the outside of the eye is a little thick. And that could be skin circulation or even a little nervousness. So a little.
He's a very nervous dog.
There you go. Now I would say maybe clean up that gut a little bit. And we can't really see the pupil, right? We want it to lighten up enough that we see a difference between this line and the pupil. So we can read the pupil too. And then we've got some little like light spots, and that means acute. Dark spots usually mean toxic, and just little blobs and marks. All of this stuff means a little something. So that might be a front leg. Is his right front leg bothering him?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
He's been limping on his right front leg off and on for 8 months.
There you go. Eye doesn't lie. Isn't that amazing, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
It even brings tears to my eyes. I get emotional. Like, it's such a cool thing. That's pretty cool. And I didn't even know that. I don't get to assess your dog's eyes. All right. So there we have a little lung point also again. And we've got something over here, and maybe just a little out of alignment in his hind end. And a little paw in the in the left hind foot. Just a little soreness. And also, this is interesting because it's fading. You guys see like the other eye was kind of opaque, but this has a little more translucent to it. So actually, did you make some changes in his diet recently?
So, you know what? He's actually been eating like a different food recently, or like like we switched the foods up. So he's been on a different brand for like the last week and a half or so.
Okay, so this is either coming or going. It's either fading and getting healthier, or it's growing. So because we don't have a little history, we don't know which way, but I think this is a better food for him. Yeah. So you're going to gauge this. You're going to, like, in 2 or 3 more days, you might look in his eye and compare it.
Okay.
And you'll know if that food's a better food for him.
That is cool.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
Well, I found some Iridology posters online that,
Yes.
that you
Bernard Jensen is like the grandfather of American Iridology. So it's Eye-Ri-Dology. This is how Mercedes taught me, not Iridology. And so I've never forgot that, but I hear everybody say the other way too.
I know.
I know, right? And so Bernard Jensen was Mercedes Colburn's mentor. Mercedes was the first one to make animal eye grids, and she is my mentor. So we're just figuring it out. And so with this online membership that Erin hangs out at sometimes, we are making discoveries. I have like 4 veterinarians in there, and we're all studying and researching iridology. We have a team of dissectors for the horse division, and we read the irises and they dissect the horses. They're going to be euthanized anyway. And they go through the cadaver and assess all the body parts. And the iris has been pretty accurate.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That is, I mean, after this, I'm going to go take pictures of my dog's eyes. I mean,
It's, you know, I just think of all the times I could have used it, like, you know, it's going back, 10 or more years now, but like when my Lucy was sick and we didn't know what was wrong with her, and it was like this really weird form of pancreatic cancer. And it's like, I mean, and the vet kept saying it was a brain tumor because she had seizures. And I'm like, that's a perfect time where I could have, gotten some insight into, what's going on. And honestly, like, I kick myself now that I didn't do it with Penny last fall. Maybe something would have come up about her repeated UTIs. Maybe it was coming from a kidney thing. Maybe, I'm like, oh, I should have thought to do it then, and
Yeah,
I think it's something that when you're like, something's not right, but I don't know what, that this could give you a really good start, really good insight.
absolutely. I agree 100%. There has been lots of people that have said the same exact thing is, gosh, if I just knew this, I could have probably prevented something. And it can be pre-crime. You can see it mark in the eye often before a physical manifestation. But if you already have a mystery issue, you can definitely look at the points and go, okay, at that 7 o'clock spot, that's liver. So maybe there's a liver issue we better look at. Now, does that mean it's the only thing? No, some of those eyes are really complicated and marked to where you look at it and go, oh my gosh, and then you have to like go, okay, where are we starting with this eye? But getting the overall picture, and often it's fun because sometimes a mark in a quadrant will like slide into like 3 other quadrants, and you can see how that story was like, hey, it started here, but now all of these parts are affected by that one issue. And they'll be like, yeah, you're totally right. And so the nice thing is humans can talk and confirm this stuff. So
yeah.
or go get some professional help. So the fun thing about iridology, yes, insight. It's a great assessment tool. Now, once you assess it, you need to figure out what to do with it. So that's where your veterinarians come in handy. I love vets. I don't have a problem with them. I work a lot with vets. And I have a lot of vet friends, and you guys love on your vets. It's a very hard career for them. It's something that I never wanted to do for a living because of that. So take care of your vets. But if you do see a mark and it's not clearing up, and it should clear up, and hopefully your blood work's changing and everything's changing, but maybe try Chinese medicine or something alternative and do more detoxifications. But there's your 6 elements of detoxification. And if any of those channels get blocked, you're heading to disease. So you can clean up those detox pathways and be ahead of it and prevent it, which is really great.
Yeah.